And we go live. And we go live. Yes, we're here. Woo, boy, it'd be a little warm out there. I just got home, went over to see mom. Shadowhawk, I think I sent the link out earlier. I think it's in Instagram. If not, I dropped it in the chat there for you, and I'll delete it afterwards. Perhaps not, you know. Coming up on Father's Day tomorrow. Woo! My mother wished me a happy early Father's Day. She was happy to see me because she, on her electric wheelchair, the little rest or something, she hit her ankle on her bone, and that was giving her some problems. She got up out of the bed and, had trouble getting back into the bed. I made her an ass pack, an ice pack for her ankle, and a few other things. So I was like out at the car, and Abby's really hot. She's just laying there cooling off now. I left the windows rolled down. She's got a cup of water in there, cold water. So, which she drank most of, I guess. It's pretty hot, we had some rain come in, so it's, they do humidity, uh, hopefully we're gonna stop with the silent game, Shadowhawk. What the hell? Sent out one link, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. Don't punish me. Get your ass in here. Hello.
Oh, hey, boss. Sorry I'm late. Someone didn't send me a link.
Are you sure? Okay, wait a minute.
Yes, I'm sure.
I'm gonna go over to Instagram just to check that.
The last link I got was for yesterday's show.
I could have swore. Of course, I've set up today's, Sundays, and Mondays already.
Yeah, I saw that. So you
Mm.
probably, doing all the setup and everything. You may have sent me maybe, tomorrow or something, and not today. I don't know. I didn't see anything on my Instagram though from you today. So
Could have swore. Okay, so I'm gonna go over this.
it's all right, man. You're getting old. You got a
No.
senility setting in. It's fine.
I'm gonna see what I did because I'm got to check these things. So, mom's ankle is hurting, and I made her an ice pack, and she
she ran her
hit it,
ankle. I thought she bumped her wheelchair or something. I was
hit it on the
hopping
bone
in.
10 hours ago. I sent it 10 hours ago.
Damn.
So,
So has she got like
I
a
bet
little
you
scooter or something, or is it an actual wheelchair?
it's an electric. Yeah, it's an electric.
Oh, okay.
The link took me right to it. There's two of me. I'm just not bringing up the other
Yeah, but she
because then
didn't
I
send
have
me
to
the
kick
link.
both of us.
More is more.
What happened?
There we go. I don't know. Maybe I kicked the wrong guy. But anyway, there was 2 of them. Yeah, the link worked. I sent it to you 10 hours ago. Or 10-ish hours ago, it says. I hope your mom will be okay, Rex. Thank you, Eric and Boyd. Mistake with links are gay. I'm glad I didn't make one, or
whatever. It's no big deal. Yes, and hope mom will be fine. She didn't fracture anything, did she? Did they X-ray it and
it didn't
stuff?
look that swollen. I mean, no,
Oh.
she hasn't. But when you have
You
arthritis,
got to tell her to slow down in that damn electric wheelchair. Fucking
it's
speed demon.
it's that feet rest, that goes up and down. I think she popped it on the side there of that, and it's metal. It doesn't give. So,
yeah.
I bet she'll be ultra careful from now on. Live and learn,
Yeah. Well, hey, if it makes her a better driver,
Yeah.
Sorry. As long as it's nothing, life-threatening or permanent. Then,
it's steamy. It is steamy hot. I wouldn't want to be out in it too much. Although there's a cool breeze, and I get in there, and Mom's room is 80 degrees, and she said, "Turn the air on," and I didn't adjust the air. I just turned it on. Came on immediately. It was set for 72. It's like, why don't you have that at least set on 72? I didn't say anything, but I went out in the hallway, and it was to get her a drink first with some ice, and it was cool. She said, "Yeah, often I'll put a shawl or something on when we go out."
She get the little private like wall mounted unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are fucking. They're very efficient, dude, and they cool down a room quick.
Well, I hope so. Because she had it an 80 in there, and of course it's kind of the peak time of the day. So
See, if I got it at 72, I'm probably sitting around in a sweatshirt. I usually keep it about 75.
Yeah. I can't do that, or I'd be a melted candle. Help! I'm melting.
75. That's
maybe 65. Come on.
Oh, geez.
No, I run the air. I learned. Now I've had it. I had it up to take my shower so it wouldn't be on then, and I just now lowered it when I came back down because I had to go back upstairs for something that I used for streaming, and then that I'd taken up there earlier, and then this one here
was set on like, right, with your didn't you accidentally chop off your thermometer, your thermostat leads or something like a year or so ago on the air conditioner?
On the one right behind me, behind these bookcases is the main unit on the ground, and it's with the weed whacker, the weeder,
your guy did fix that though, right?
Yeah, he fixed it. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
it's easy, man. I when I was doing landscaping and lawn maintenance and shit, I mean, I accidentally took out flowers and wires and all kinds of shit when you're trying to trim, and people, when they got a service, they just let it go,
Yeah. I had it 68 in here, but since she's got so hot in the truck, it's like, I turned it down. And I've been in the den, which is a little bit lower. I think it was the garage at one time, the carport, the garage, I guess. And they enclosed that, although you really can't see it. It seems like it's originally part of the house, but my dad thought, and he's probably right. And I think the carpet is just on concrete. I don't know. Well, it may have padding. I underneath.
Might just be indoor outdoor carpet or something,
I don't think so, but it is a fine weave. It's not
like an industrial, it may have
like upstairs I've got like a lower pile shag.
Oh, that's wild. What color is it?
Green.
So is
not
it like
quite a hunter green, but a darker green. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I think it's on my I think it's on my stairs too.
Green is my favorite color.
Yeah, we had shag We had orange and red mixed,
Yeah,
growing
we
up.
had some of that.
Yeah. And other colors, it seems like my brother
Dude, when
might
I
have
was a
blue.
kid, my whole house was carpeted. Like
Hey,
even the
Gary.
fucking bathrooms were carpeted. I was like, why would you put carpet in a fucking bathroom? And so, like, I think when I was about 8 or so, I helped my dad. We fucking put tile in everywhere in all the bathrooms and shit.
Well, I've done very little to the house, so
Oi, oi,
the back.
Carrie. Hello, Eric. Good to see you, my friend.
I'm using the downstairs toilet and one of the upstairs toilets, the one that I have been using all along since I've lived here. The you've got the water that goes into the pipe in the tank of the commode. It
Mm-hmm.
broke off somehow, so that thing wants to go, and
Oh shit. Just
all
all right. Oh.
the whole thing needs to be replaced. And the
Dude,
other
we'll talk
one,
off there. I can walk you through it in 5 minutes. You can do it yourself.
how to put that back. I've just stopped using it. It
I,
needs replaced.
again, I can walk you
Okay.
through it in 5 minutes.
Okay. The other one, I don't know if the flap just doesn't sit well, but it leaks out a little water too. You can hear it. Which
You
runs
might
your
just need
water bill up, huh?
you might need a new flapper. Those things need to be replaced every so often.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever had that one looked at actually.
Mm. But yeah,
I
that's
don't. I
that's
don't
all
think
simple
we've ever
shit, bro.
done that.
Yeah,
I was not using this bathroom till fairly
I mean,
recently.
you could probably fix both your bathrooms for around $20.
I'm definitely going to get him over here, though. I mean, I've got.
So,
I did get some caulk, and I've already got some caulking. I know that sounds funny. Everybody will be making sexual jokes now. Uh,
all right, everybody,
why is
jump
it
on
they
it.
come to the show and they can't keep it in their pants? I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, you're the one that said you
Whatever.
just recently got some cock. I mean,
I know that's one word you don't want to say, but if you're a constructionist, you got to say it. So, what else would you call it?
sealant.
Sealant. Okay, I guess I could have chosen my words a little bit better. But anyway,
I
oi,
never
oi,
said cock.
Savaloy, Carrie. You're not going to say hello to Carrie, huh?
I said hello to Carrie.
You think you said hello to her?
I did say hello to Carrie. You just
Yeah,
weren't
later
listening, though,
because
right?
she'd already been in here 5 minutes.
I didn't have the link for fucking the first 2 minutes. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you had the link all along. It just the first time you
Bullshit.
tried it,
It's not in my fucking Instagram.
I just came. Okay, well, I came in on that link and there was two of me, so I know
That's
it worked.
great.
And I sent it
I
to you
came in
10
off the
hours
one you
ago.
posted in the chat because I did not have it in my fucking Instagram. Did you send it to Facebook or something and accidentally? I may be on one of my other things, but I always come in
God, I
through
don't want to
Instagram.
wind you up. You're more
Jesus.
irritating than an alarm clock. So
Okay, fuck off.
I don't I don't want to wind you up too much. Homer Glitch is always telling
Hey,
me,
I can take the day off completely today. That's fine with me. No big deal.
Did you have your show today?
Nope. Took the day off.
You didn't? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I've done. I mean, we're not going to have the Rex X and Apex show till next week. And that was one reason I wanted to. I mean, I'm going to be coming up on fulfillment. There's going to be, I mean, look, man, once a month for that is fine. Twice a month, maybe on some months, maybe 3 months or three. I'm not sure if we could fit three in there, but two. It's just like every
Not on
other
every 2 week
Saturday. I
rotation.
just dread. If I want to, I could have done it today because I was up, but most Saturdays I'm asleep. You know, and I'd like to remain in bed, but I have to get up for the Rex X and Apex show, and I feel for Hex because he's on that West Coast. He really has to get up early, to do that show. But I said, why don't we just do it once a month, you know, and rotate it around? I think once a month would give us enough time to come up with a guest, to come up with better content for the shows, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
It gives every one of us more time to come up with what we're going to do. You know?
Yeah, you get a little game plan for the show instead
Yeah,
instead of
instead
just
of just like every other week, it's
freestyling.
that's just too much. I'm sorry for me.
Well,
It's
it gets difficult to like freestyle after a while, you know. Like
well, I know. I
I'm
said,
trying to figure out
Apex, you
something
got
for the
your
high noon.
campaign. Apex is all over the place promoting his campaign, and
Mm-hmm.
he's busy. And I mean, uh, Nephilim Squadron. I mean, when is the full version of that going to come out? Uh,
I
what
swear,
gets what? And I'm
I
not
swear
I'm
I
not
got
saying any
something
about Hex,
Nephilim
but
Squadron art.
if
I could.
you're doing more fan art than working on your book, I got a problem with that. I see some people doing, even if it's drawing Devil Flyer. Now that doesn't mean you, and sometimes you need a break. I get it, but some of these artists, they're all the time posting fan art. And it's like, yeah, where's your project? I backed it. I'm waiting on it. You know.
All right, well, if you want to talk controversial, did you see what fucking
Hey, stability.
Rob put out yesterday?
Rob who?
Rob Hunter, Death.
Oh,
Fuck is it? What the fuck's the name of that
it's not
book?
Death Shroud, is it?
No,
It's
it's not Death
no
Shroud.
Death. Spelled
Uh,
DETH, right? Death Hunter? Is
is
it
it
Death
Death Hunter?
Hunter?
Yeah, I don't know. It was supposed to be this big fucking deal and blah blah blah, and he only got like $33,000 on his campaign, and
Oh wow.
apparently for the last 3 years, he has burned through his savings and this, that, and the other, and he really still wants to deliver to the book to the people that backed him. But right
Yeah.
now, he's got to find a way to pay his bills, or he's going to have to go into bankruptcy, and then the court is going to confiscate all the Indiegogo funds. It was this whole big fucking whiny bullshit mess. And then he claims, well, crowdfunding is supposed to pay for my time and labor while I'm, making the book for you guys. That's how crowdfunding is supposed to. No, dude, crowdfunding works because somebody wants your book. They're funding you to make the book. You have
You're
to make the
becoming a
time
producer. Yeah.
to do it, right? You got to do
Well,
your end. You
I mean,
can't
so was
blame
he
it.
sounding like Cecil? Like there's legal problems,
I don't know
trouble
if
in
it. I don't
paradise,
know.
maybe?
Well, did Cecil, once his shit was over, he came out and announced to everybody what was going on and what had happened.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because
He
he was
couldn't do
kind of
that
under a
in the
gag restraint, really. I
well, he
mean,
couldn't do that in the middle of it
right.
because his wife's divorce lawyer would have fucking destroyed his life.
Oh yeah,
So, I
exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
they pretty much did anyway. So
How did she not know about that though? I mean, really, if you think about it, how would she not know that he had this big crowdfunder? Was she
because she
just
didn't, she
oblivious to his actions and what he did online?
no, she just everything that he did was insignificant to her. She didn't get the concept that
You are a
he,
bug. I will squish you.
yeah.
King
I
Kong grinder.
apparently she, one of those, snooty New York, kids from some rich family or something. Cecil done. He came from rich parents and shit too. You know, he just been whacked by the ex-wife and.
Yeah. Well, we can all
But
relate
yeah,
to that.
she wanted to when she found out, she was trying to get half of his Indiegogo campaign, and they'd
Yeah, I
already
bet she
fucking
was.
signed the divorce papers and shit. He was
I
like, no,
bet
no,
she was.
no.
Hmm. I bet she was trying to get half of it.
Oh fuck yeah, she was. But there, ooh, adding some color to these bad boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. I got some blank
Sign up,
ones and
people.
good
Buy
to
the book.
absolutely.
Get in there and buy Devil
Our
Flyer.
next stretch
Get you
goal,
some
like
original
I
art.
announced the other day, our next stretch goal is not just for the bog sticker, but it's to add 4 more pages to the book,
Cool.
which we could easily do, and it won't delay the book. In fact, I just got my check in the mail today, and I'm didn't think I really haven't worked that hard yet. And I'm hoping that bonus, man, I'm gonna ask Ted. I'm gonna call him up or
Dude, I
say,
can't believe you haven't got it yet, man. I'd be fucking rattling some cages. Where's my
I'm
goddamn bonus?
going to, because we worked hard for that
Yeah.
and we did a good job. And I mean, it's not promised, but and in
Dude, I
fact, I
know you
might
could
call
use
some of the
it.
other guys down in Louisiana that I have their numbers to and say, hey, did y'all get a bonus check or anything? What the hell? I mean,
Mhm. Well, I
$300
know
would
you
pay
weren't
for a
slacking,
couple
brother,
pages
because
in my book, you
fucking
know.
once you got back, you were whooped, dude. Oh my god, look at this shit, Rex. And hold on, let me show you real quick. Uh, fuck, it's still tacky.
If you're
Not
not busy,
tacky.
I will talk to you after the show and
Oh, okay.
chastise. I've
Well, I
got a
want
list.
everybody to
I
see
want to
this. Though.
chastise you about.
We had a garage sale like right across the street from us,
Oh,
right? A yard sale,
uh-huh.
whatever you want to call
Oh yeah.
it. This is The Dark Knight, the first Christian Bale movie. It's
Mm.
a 2-disc set,
Oh wow.
DVD, and it's inside of Batman's skull.
It
But if
just looks,
you see those little fucking marks on
yeah,
his helmet?
somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me, dude. This thing was sitting in a box until we got over there at about like 2 o'clock. And apparently the heat had gotten to it. And whatever plastic this thing is made out of or whatever, it got super tacky. And I went to try to
Wow.
open it up to examine the discs, and now it's permanently got my fingerprint on it. It's
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
You know, that
So,
happened to my Bible with the glue in my Bible, you know, the binding. There's
uh,
I mean I had left it in my car up in the window and
oh, and it
or
melted.
you don't do that. Yeah, it became soft, so I was going to read it, started opening it up, and it started pulling out I mean, pages didn't come out, but I was like, oh yeah, that's not good. Let's cool this
Oh,
thing off. And
yeah.
I've never don't put your Bible or any book like that that's not stitched or it's just not good. You know, on a hot summer day, it's very easy to do.
I
Uh,
think I told you that story before. When
Eric
we
and
were
Boyd says, "Well, that's pretty cool." Well, maybe not so cool now that you've ruined it.
yeah,
Uh,
but when we were teenagers, man, we were like, fucking psychedelic shit, right? So we were listening to Pink Floyd, and a buddy of mine had the Echoes album, and he left it
mhm.
in the back window of his car in the summertime, and it turned
Yeah,
into this giant wavy fucking thing, but you could still play it on the record player. It wasn't so fucked
it
up
would be
that it
like
wouldn't
this,
play.
huh? Over
Yeah,
hill and dale. Yeah.
it was like fucking a roller coaster, but
Hmm.
the sound, especially for the song Echoes, because it would hit those hills and it would slow down and stretch it out, and it would go wow, 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 and then
Yeah.
fucking on the way down it would speed up again.
Hmm.
It's freaking
Yeah.
cool. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it actually played.
I did that with a YouTube album, one of their
Oh really?
early albums, and yeah, and I just had it, you know, in my trailer, but apparently the trailer, no,
Got
I
warm,
had
huh?
an air conditioner in there, but I didn't have it on unless I was in there, and yeah, during the summer it get hot in there, hot enough to do that, I guess, make it warm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I slapped it on a canvas, and it's still on a canvas. I painted over it.
Yeah, as soon as my finger hit that Batman right there, I was like, oh fuck. Ugh. He's all tacky from being with his son. He's been out on the sun for a while now, and he hasn't hardened up yet.
Excuse me.
But it's got like a 40-minute bonus DVD with like behind the scenes stuff. It's
I,
the first Christian Bale Batman.
I've still got. This was out in my trailer studio, so it didn't burn up in my fire.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Prince's Bat Dance or whatever that album, and it's like round. It's still
Oh
got
yeah,
the plastic.
that had been '89, right? That came out when original the Michael Keaton Batman came out.
Correct, and
Hey, like that's count.
it has the bat symbol on it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like a almost like a little film reel type thing. You know, thick. It's probably got some other extra goodies, but I've never even taken the plastic off of it. You know, I just kind of
I
bought
don't
it.
know. I like Prince. I mean, he was like a very good musician and songwriter, but I was never like a big fan
Hey,
of
Apex.
him personally. You know.
No, I mean, I
He
wasn't
can play a
either. In
wicked
fact,
guitar though when he wants to, man. I mean, he could really,
it was 1995. I was in college after high
mm,
school, uh,
tonight we're gonna
before I
party like a
discovered Prince, and the only
fraction.
reason
Uh, uh,
was the
Jesus
girls
Christ.
that I
When that song
graduated
came
with.
out in
Nobody's listening.
1999 was 10 years away.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, and all the girls melted for him, and I was like,
Oh, dude,
I,
he's a tiny little fucker too.
he's what? Oh
He's a
yeah, yeah,
tiny
he
little
is.
fucker.
Yeah.
He's only like 5'4" and like maybe 100 pounds, 110. He's a little fella.
Yeah. Well, I'd never heard of him until 1985, and that's when Purple Rain was out, I suppose. I
Well,
think
I
that
think
might have
he
came
was,
out in '84.
yeah, I think like he was behind the scenes for a little while. He was writing songs and selling them to other people and shit. And then he
Mhm.
decided to put his own band together, and that's why he just kind of came out of nowhere. But he was already pretty well established. Like he wrote songs for Sheena Easton, for all kinds of other people back then in the '80s. Man,
Oh yeah,
there's
yeah.
a ton of songs that are like, oh, Prince wrote that. What? Really? Oh.
Oh yeah, he really and was it Velvet or yeah, I know he helped Sheila E. The one
Yeah.
that
Oh
had
yeah.
that
Sheila E. He had her for his drummer in his live band for a while. They
oh,
toured.
was that Sheila E. that was doing the
Mhm.
drums? Because yeah, they had a female drummer. He did, yeah.
Yeah, and he had a pretty fucking good female bass player for a little while too. Uh, I don't know where she went. That might have been the girl that ended up with Rob Zombie's band at White Sox.
Apex says Prince wrote Manic Monday for the Bengals. Just
Oh yeah,
another
forgot
Manic
about that one.
Monday.
I mean, and
Yeah.
that's it's a little pop ditty, but it's one of them ones that just runs around your head when you after you hear it. You know, it's like the earworm.
Well, I mean, MTV
See, I never got to watch
made
it.
so many people, even if it was just a one hit wonder, there was a lot of one hit wonders that made videos
Dude,
and
but
played
by the time I
incessantly on
had
YouTube.
regular access to MTV, they had like stopped all the good shows, the rock and roll at midnight on Saturdays and all this other,
Mhm.
and it was all like reality shows and shit, and they hardly
It's
showed
those
any
early
news.
days that I remember though, and the reason why is you know, my mother went to the library and she saw this
Mm,
display under glass case with homemade comic books, and it was my friend John Fernandez who did the art for Devil Flyer, my neighbor down the street, and Dave Snow. And I really spent more time with Dave. I met John through Dave um, in 1982, and I was like 16, and we started. I was like 17 when we started our comic book shop, so I was still in high school, uh, and ran through 82 to 83, and so I was like 19, I guess, when we shut it down.
yeah,
Uh, but I first met Dave when I was 16. And we draw and we talk comics, and it was a dream come true. Had a first person really to be able
yeah,
to
that
talk
was
comics with
nice.
and to draw with, and uh, he had been drawing, and he was self taught, and
Yeah,
and
I suppose I
he did
probably could have
fun
got a
things
job
like
at a comic book store, but I
when
knew
Marvel
that
did that
was
A to
a bad.
Z. That's what I was wanting to do with my characters, was like an A to Z thing. He did an A to Z type thing with his characters, and he would,
Mhm.
what characters do you want to do? And I would
Well, the Marvel
say,
Universe, right?
I
That
want to take a
was
shot at this, and he'd hold me to a deadline, because I had to. turn it in so he could finish the book, and he would staple it and together and then, laminate it. And that was a mistake because after a while, they blurred, the, of course, he's kind of like Gil Kane. He would use the black, I'm not sure what they are, the felt tip pens, what brand, but it turned brown after a while, not a true black. And under the lamination, it would bleed, not just the black, but some of the other color. He must have used like probably water based stuff. I don't know, but he was putting books together. He had several issues of certain books, certain characters. I wish I could remember those days. Maybe I'll get a hypnotist to, you know, hypnotize me and bring it back to my memory. And last time I talked to him, he still had all that stuff, with some of my early work in there of his characters that I drew for him and inked for him and colored. And, I did different various things, sometimes I'd ink the stuff, sometimes I'd color the stuff, sometimes I lost my co-host. Never ending. I love how burgeoning. That's very hard. It doesn't look like the way you say it. Comic book creators start out by publishing fanzine and small print projects. Yeah, and he was ordering. He liked Cheesecake Girls and stuff like that. He used like to draw the women, and he was married, had a son. She died of cancer, and he's remarried now. Uh, I haven't seen him in a while. I know COVID hit him real hard. He just kind of getting over that. When I saw him at the grocery store, first time in years. I saw him when I lived over a decade ago when I lived over in the apartment in the old building on Main Street. He was looking at the graffiti or he had a camera and he was taking pictures. I think of like the trains. I don't know if it was for the graffiti that was on there or what, but can't remember.
Sorry
But
about that. My internet's a little sketchy.
well, it's a little breezy here. It's not bad, but it is a little breezy, which actually feels good. It's felt cooler outside with that circulating air that, and it
Yeah, it was.
bombs
It's got,
room. I mean,
it's got a little humid and warm, like
it's
early
humid, yeah,
today. But
and
now
yet,
the temperature is dropping down. It's getting nice.
yeah, and we've had rain. I mean, we didn't get, at least at my house, not that much, but a good soak. And
hmm
you would think with all this rain that we've gotten leading up almost to summer here, that mosquitoes would be just terrible. Now I know I have friends that live out there around national park, which is wooded, and they've got brown ticks out there. I know I've taken the Karate Kids out there, and you got to check for ticks because they'll get on you even in the playground.
Oh,
And there's mosquitoes out there because there's a lot of shade and cover for them, and
those shallow pools
that's
for
probably
making
the worst.
layer eggs.
That's probably the worst area in Jonesboro, because it's so wooded and mosquitoes love that. So, uh, and there's water. There is water, of
Yeah,
course, there.
gotta have the water. That's how they do it.
Yeah. And so I don't really like to go out there. I mean, and get out of the truck because I know I mosquitoes I can deal with, okay, but the brown ticks, I don't want no ticks.
No, don't want no ticks, leeches.
My brother went up canoeing a couple years in a row, and he got that tick fever twice.
Really?
When he came back, yeah.
The same canoe in the same place both
Yeah,
times?
same
Or?
place, yeah. Spring
Well,
River.
you should have learned
Yeah.
his lesson the first time.
Hey, yeah, I mean, put some kind of repellent on you where the ticks won't want to crawl up your legs or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Well, they can
Uh,
jump too, man. Like they'll jump right out of a tree onto a warm body. Like
yes,
you'd be
they will.
amazed
Yeah. So
how
really,
good
it's
something
not
that
just your
small
legs.
like flies around. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I don't
they're
know
on the
what it
ground,
was. It's probably about 89 here too. I know it's probably upper 80s, upper 90s on Father's Day. It'd probably be the same here. I mean, pretty close. But I mean, we are nearing summer,
yeah, we're almost
you
there.
know, like a week away. But
Yeah,
we have gotten later rain, a lot more rainfall this year. And you would
yeah,
think that
we've
the
gotten a
mosquitoes
pretty good
would be
amount too.
thick. You would think they would be thick and thick and thick and thick by now, but they're
It
not.
should be good for the farmers. Yeah.
No, this rain has delayed, at least my brother, he can't plant when it's too muddy.
Well,
And
yeah.
so they're kind of behind at this point.
Oh
And he's
shit.
probably not the only one. And
Yeah,
his
I ain't good. I don't think we've gotten that much here. We might have though. I mean, because you get hit and then it comes my way the next day or so.
you don't think this year where you're at that you've gotten rain later in the season?
Ah,
I mean,
it's
generally
so
we get some in April. By May, it's kind of
dude, it's
dying
so hard
out,
to
but we got
judge.
a lot in May, and we've
Like
we've
last
had
last
more
night
than usual in
we
June.
had a beautiful day last night up until about 4 o'clock, and then some clouds come in. It just kind of they're thin, like light gray. Not super dark or anything with thunderstorms. Just gray
Yeah.
clouds, and it started just very gently sprinkling, and it did that shit for like 4 hours. So I mean, eventually it's a lot of water falling out of the sky. It was just like a little misty haze, but it was
Did
still.
you answer my question though? Do
I'm
you
sorry.
feel like where you're at that you've gotten unseasonably more rain later? I mean,
I,
almost up to summer here.
again, I don't know. Uh,
You don't know. You haven't been tracking it.
bro, if you lived in the Midwest, especially close to one of the Great Lakes, you would fucking understand. One of the
Okay.
like standard comments in Indiana is if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll fucking change.
Well, yeah,
Just,
we had the
just,
same
just
saying down here,
just
but
the fucking way it goes, man.
yeah.
I'm not a meteorologist, but
Okay.
it
Above your
it
pay grade.
se- it
Got it.
it seems to me we've had a nice spring that should be good for our farmers. We never had,
Yeah, for the most, I mean,
and
down here, maybe we got more rain than you have, but I mean, like
we probably have. I mean,
last
because
year's summer, 2024
mhm,
was
it was pretty dry, wasn't it?
uh
Last year seems like it was.
2022 was the most perfect summer. 2022 was like low humidity, low bugs, and it would get hot, but if there's no rainfall, the humidity's not bad. It was almost like
Mhm.
a California summer in 22. It was a little bit worse, and more humid in 23, and 24 was more like 22, but not as good as 22. And this year, we're getting usually we get most of the rain in
Oh,
April
God.
or, coming out of winter, April, maybe a shower or two in May. We got a lot more in May than we usually do. Plus, we got our usual, if not more, in April, and we've
I don't
got
know. It seems
more
like ours
usually
is
than we
pretty
do in
average.
June because usually the summers are pretty dry and it doesn't rain. So
Mhm. We're the
already,
same
and
way.
looking at the Mississippi, I've been through there recently a couple times. It's up big time. You know, uh, it's got farm fields on the one edge on the
Mhm.
Arkansas side, and it floods several fields in when it's really up, and it's a little bit flooded. Not I've seen it worse. I've seen it worse, but it is definitely up and roaring. So I know we've gotten a lot of rainfall uh, in the area. Some places more than others, because I don't think where Jonesboro is that we're right in that storm alley. I mean, we're pretty close to it. I mean, we have had some devastating tornadoes, you know, but that's always a danger. But I don't think we're in that. I think more Mark Tree, Pocahontas, where I go spray, and Paragould is in kind of a diagonal there. They generally, a lot of the rainfall they get passes us up. It's kind of off to the west of us, coming up from Little Rock, I think, in the Gulf. It's the most. Now, of course, things can change. Things can come from the east. That would be unusual, but you do get that. You can get it from all sides, really. But usually here it's from the west, the southwest.
Mm-hmm.
Wet
Yeah,
hot
usually,
summer.
like I said, usually it runs over you, and then it'll follow that jet stream or whatever right up over into Chicago, Wisconsin, and me. I get
Mhm.
caught up in there because I'm right there on the edge of the lake. So we
Well,
don't. Usually, by the time they hit us, they're a little weaker, I think, than when they start by you. So we don't get as much.
well, early part of the year, it was like, wow, nearly the whole United States was freezing cold. Snow, whatever. I mean, it was
Yep.
almost like everything in unison. But yeah, I hope they cut all that funding out. I believe they're trying for the global warming. I mean,
Oh God.
yeah, it's such a it's been disproven, but we can't get that information out. People don't want to believe it, but I mean, it's low on everybody's priority list except for the politicians. Reallocate that money. Come on, let's just say, okay, sorry, pet projects, after
White
we
boy
leave,
summer.
maybe you can bring it back. But for now, why don't we just put it to
Right
practical
there.
things? But they're like, no. Oh, Juneteenth. Juneteenth is not going to catch me this year.
Hell yeah, white boy summer.
June is not Pride Month. June is the start of White Boy Summer. Okay. Wow. Racist. Oh, sorry. Maybe not.
Oh, what?
What?
I thought you said. Sorry, my wife is asking me something. Hey,
Yeah.
nope. We got a lot of stuff going on today. I'm gonna have to bow out a little bit early today. Sorry, guys, and I shall see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
I
Sorry,
thought you were
Jim.
going to talk to me after the show. Anyway, we'll talk
Sorry.
shop later
Well,
about caulking and all that stuff.
you can
Sealing.
call me. Just call me later. Is your phone working?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, just call me and we can jump on an old stream link or whatever. I just
Okay.
right
Call
now.
it. Yeah, you can jump on
I
the
gotta go.
one that I did not send you, but it was
No,
somehow magically there.
I actually, and I forgot to say, when I popped out and I came back in, dude, it didn't show up in my Instagram until when I just went in there now.
It gets wacky. Yeah,
And
I
it
don't know.
said, that's the fucked up thing. It said it was received at like 5:45 a.m.
Yeah, I
yesterday.
sent them up early. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it didn't fucking register on my Instagram until when I popped out from the one that you dropped in the chat. I went to
Mhm.
Instagram and looked, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, there's a new link. Are you gonna reply? It's like 5:54 or 5:40, whatever it was.
And me
And
going in on the link at the start of the show might have gave it a little shove your way. I don't know.
I
But
guess I don't know. I
it's
mean,
crazy.
it's weird sometimes, dude.
I know.
I usually get all notifications, but every now
StreamYard
and
is
again,
wanting their money. They're like, yeah,
mm,
we tried to take it out, and it's like that's the only thing that automatically comes out. And I'm like, I'm almost grateful. Maybe I'll shut up about getting my paychecks because
mm,
if I have direct deposit, it'll just nab it automatically. That's what happened to me one
mm-hmm.
month. I really don't want to pay all that StreamYard. I know Jason Bascom says he's not going to pay that. I was on Wise
I
Guys
know a
last
lot of
night.
people are looking for alternative
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
Ways.
Christy from Flip City, she uses something else that I've
Mm.
never heard of.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that are like
I know Omer Glitch
giving up on
kind of
streaming.
vacillates between StreamYard and Restream, and I'm like you,
Restream.
that Restream, it does it. On one of the Hump Day shows, I had to bow out early because it kept kicking me. Like 3 times it kicked me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I just
The
can't.
Restream, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be compatible with my whatever software's on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause I can
Yeah.
get in there, but within 5 minutes, I'm getting kicked, and there's no reason why. It's just whoop, you're gone. So,
Yeah. That's the way it was with me, probably less than 5 minutes. It's just, I don't know. It wasn't playing
yeah,
nice.
and
I
half
don't
the
know. I
time
can't
it
remember what
wouldn't
the
even let
weather
me log
was.
in.
Sometimes when you have stormy weather, that can affect your internet, it seems like.
I don't care. I guess it depends, how well connected a network you're on is,
Mhm.
how
I did
powerful.
want to say, Pete
But
Samedi, 17 days to go, 89% there.
Pizza boy.
89% there. I think he's going to do it
Nice,
myself.
man. That's awesome. I hope he gets
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
Pete's a good dude, man. And I
I'm
mean,
like,
if he can start printing indie comics, we've got Luke on FMC to distribute. We've got JJ RJ from Critical Blast. I don't know.
yeah,
Did Doc tell you about the publishing deal he's working on, dude? For
he told me
his
that. He told me that when nobody else knew about it when I
oh
visited
shit.
him in Atlanta.
Was I supposed to say anything?
No, I mean he came on the show and did say that.
Okay,
Yeah, I said, and
I
I
didn't know if
hinted at it when I got back. I said, Doc's going to go places. You wait and see.
Mhm.
There'll be. I said it's going to be funny. People are looking at some of the larger creators and stuff, and they're like movers and shakers. And this is not to take away from anybody else, but some of people like maybe Doc or myself, we're flying under the radar. We're going
Dude,
places.
it's
We're
just
working
gonna be a
hard
matter
at
of
it.
time. Look at fucking Narwhal, dude. He fucking stumbled his way into working with Mark Millar. I mean, fucking, he's all of a sudden a Hollywood fucking writer. He's hot now. People want him. It's like,
Well, they're wanting that detective that he's writing. They want a 3-year deal, and they want him to write 1 book a year. Now he'll write more than that.
oh fuck yeah, Doc will
He'll
have a
write a
bunch of
bunch
music.
more than that. But
Well, you know what?
they want to
Yeah.
option his detective for 3 years.
Well, I'll tell you what. He
Mhm.
he probably already has a book and a half, maybe 2 written or in mind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, he's
so
writing
you
every
you give
day.
him you give him the 3 for the first year. You keep on writing like you normally do for the next 2 years, and you don't have to give any of that to him. And then when it comes time to renegotiate your deal, you go, all right, well, I'd like to have a 5-year deal. And they're like, well,
Mhm.
can you do 5 books? That's a lot of work. And you go, I already got 4 in the can. There you go. Uh, we got a
Well,
deal or what?
you know, back in the day, he broke his wrist. It didn't set
Hmm.
right. He said to me, I hold a pencil in a death grip very hard. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of that, but that's just the way I've done it. And I don't want to develop corporal tunnel in it. So he's given, and even since I've been there, visiting with him from now, I mean, he's come on here and said, I've taken a commission to do a cover and for
Yeah.
RJ and a few other things. And I was kind of surprised by that, but I know he's like, I've learned when it starts hurting to stop. Don't try and continue even a little bit further. Just stop. And
Yeah. I know he
uh,
still wants to do a few more issues. At least finish up the big story with Jake
and
Bishop
he'll
and
do that. He will do
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But
I
after
said
that, I mean,
because
I think
I
Doc
did
might
ask
just
him, are you going to get all this out before they option it? Because you could do a collected volume of all 3 issues together
hmm
when you're done. But now, if he's
yeah,
optioned, you might not be able to do that. And I did talk to
right,
him
right.
about that, when I was there. Uh,
I got you.
we had a good little visit. We talked shop, and it was a kind of exciting night because Dillard was launching his book, and he had told me that, and then he was already doing it. He told me that on the phone, and he was already doing it. I was like, wow, he didn't waste any time. And it's all about raising some funds. So I'm just
Okay,
trying to
well,
think right now, what's the best use of my funds? Do I go right to Dillard and paying for 2 pages? Or do I do something else with my last paycheck, which I just got in the mail today? I'm the great thing is I've not feel like I've worked that much since I've got back from Atlanta, but I think, now we're getting, I mean, these next few months are going to be pretty busy for me, as far as spring. So pretty good checks. But before you
right.
know it, it's over and done with, and we're starting to taper off. So, uh,
Well,
I can do a lot in a very quick time,
I
and
did. I did 10 years of seasonal work, man. Anyway, I got to go, brother. I'm sorry,
okay.
but
What are
duty
you going to have for
call, and
dinner? Do you know?
I don't think Mama
You
said
going to
she
do
had.
anything special for Father's Day?
I don't know. Nobody told me yet, so I'm
Okay, it's a
waiting.
secret. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if Mama and the kids have something
They're
planned
probably
or
not
what.
going to pay for a lap dance. I got it.
Probably not.
Probably not, but that would be nice anyway. Maybe Daisy will accommodate. Anyway,
Anyway, hello, love you guys. Have a great weekend. Duty calls. Must go help Mama out in the yard. Have a great night.
oh, yes, you too. Um, Carrie says if you get a bonus, you could invest in art supplies for yourself, Rex. Well, I I see. I kind of did that with. I did some yard work and stuff for my neighbor, and he paid me very generously $100. That was on top of my check, which was I forget what my check was, but it was probably a couple $100. So that helped. Well, I think it was over a couple $100, and this one here was pretty sizable. Uh, I mean, not overly sizable, but if we do the on the track, and work, say 10 days every, you know, I don't know that we're going to do that. And there's always rain that you contend with. But I did get some, uh, stuff that was on clearance. I went to Michael's. I got 2 pads, which is enough to do a comic book right there, in paper, uh, Bristol paper. Uh, and I've got stacks of Bristol and stuff like that. But it was a pretty good price. It may even in Home Depot. I mean, Hobby Lobby doesn't even carry that anymore. Michael's was expensive on some things like this brush here, $17, and I can get it for 8 at Hobby Lobby all day long. So yeah, some of their stuff was high price. They did have quite the selection of some stuff. Um, but yeah, I've already done that, Carrie. Yeah, there's always some other stuff. I just need to clean and organize, and I'll find all kinds of enough stuff that Now, alcohol markers, I may get a wider range of that. I didn't think that they had some marker sets, some like Copics that were like $50, and I don't know, maybe for 24 different markers. I don't know. They had all kinds. You know, you can pay $8 a piece for like the chisel tip, and then the straight tip. A dual pen, and you're only going to get so much out of that. I'll definitely be looking at greens for bog, and browns, things like that. But yeah, little bit by little bit. I mean, that's what I do and have done for a long time. A little bit by little bit. Whether I'm going to use it today or not, if you see a good deal. So I'll probably go back to Michael's at some point. You know, see if they replace that Bristol board. I think I got it for like $18 a pad. Over that after tax, but I mean, it's like 17.99. I thought that wasn't too bad for those for that 17 by 11 Bristol. So I bought both of them. Bought some these artists, 5 of these. It was the only one they had for $10. I like working on masonite, and this would be similar to working on masonite. I could always go to the lumber yard or whatever and get some masonite, you know. But yeah, I mean, I can work on anything, even cardboard, pizza rounds. I did make a dump cake. I didn't show this to Shadowhawk. He'd be jealous. Cherry walnut, and it does have the walnuts in it. Now, doesn't that look good? Come on, folks. A mini one, a small one for me, because that's just about. But it is delish. It is delish. I put a lot of nuts in it. I would have taken Mom some. She probably would have enjoyed it, but it's got nuts, and she doesn't, with her teeth and whatnot, doesn't like it. So good stuff. Mm-hmm. Very easy to make. Put your fruit in. Put your dry cake mix over that. I put fruit. What I did was I put a layer of cherries in the walnuts, and I don't know. I layered it somehow. I don't know. Can't remember. Melted butter on top. Make sure it covers your cake mix. I did about half a cake mix because that's a small one. A little bit thicker on top, but probably about the same as I usually do. I try to fill it up as much with cherries and walnuts and things like that, and less cake mix. It's a good ratio. An hour and 15 minutes, you got it at like 350 or couple of Art markers, so darn expensive. Yeah, Prismacolor and Artist Loft markers. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're just kind of limited. You can probably go online too. If you kind of know what you're looking for, you kind of go online and get what you need. These markers here that are square instead of like your rounded Copics type, or these Azure that I get at Walmart. 5 and below. I mean, they're you get a lot of use out of these alcohol markers and a good range of them. I bought their last set, so I don't know if I'll hit them up and see. I'll probably look for some stuff. Uh, I want to continue with the head sketches and stuff. That's something that I want to do anyway. So I might buy me a pad or two, see if it's 40% off or whatever. I don't do the app things. I know I'm throwing good money away, but if I ever needed, I bought some parchment in the past. So I've got another thing of parchment that's maybe even larger. So if I wanted to, well, here's an example. I did hand cut these. So yeah, they're a little bit different in size, but that's okay. I think this would probably fit in a little sleeve too. Anyway, I mean, I'd send them out in the little hard cases anyway. So trading card hard cases. So I need to use that stuff up. That's what I'm, trying to do. Get me started, so that I can do the larger things. I'm wanting to do collage, but I'm wondering what it needs to be. Rigid surface that doesn't buckle. Maybe masonite with a frame around it. It can get involved. Really, I would love to do some of the water dip patterns. I've done a lot of that. I've got a lot of very smooth canvases, like watercolor canvases that I bought in the past and had for years. I mean, I buy stuff and keep it for years. Now LZ, he will go through that stuff. You can't keep it in the house. He'll come over and use mine, and it's like, that's not okay. I almost have to hide my art supplies because he'll go through it, and that's like, okay, now what I use, he's a beast. But it's not going to waste. I mean, with the Bristol paper, I've been saving that up for years, and you can see which pads I've had the longest because of the price. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. But yeah, I want to get back to doing some more sequential artwork and finish these 2 pages of Geo. And don't know where I'm going from here, with the story. But, I've got these 2 pages planned out. I do know more about the Geo character, what I'm going to do. It comes to me in drips and drabs. I think it's coming along swimmingly. Omer being sneaky. Have you seen title of his video in 30 minutes laugh out loud? No, I haven't. Will Rex overstream me? Is that his title? I really work on my titles. Most of them, Omer says you bring all the boys to the yard, Rex. Well, good. That's fine with me. I like to bring some of the ladies too, like you and Janet from Another Planet and others that come in here. I like to see Miss Good Stuff every time, and with Mr. Good Stuff. Don't get to see them very often. They've been busy of late, but hopefully they watch on rewatch. And if you are, we love you. No, I haven't seen it. Omer's streaming a lot, and that's good. He's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. He doesn't want to launch Glitch till he gets to 1,000 subscribers, which is not a bad thing. I mean, Apex needs the hours probably to get monetized, but he's already got the subs, but that's usually what it is. With me, I had a surplus. We just hit 25,000 views on the channel recently. I'm amazed at our last draw stream that we did. Somewhat. Our last draw stream was quite successful, and it really, we were coming up to the hours that were the most profitable for views because people were just getting up. And I've done very well in that time slot. If I had remained a couple hours and not shut it down, of course, we went almost 7 hours. But if I had remained another 2 hours and did like a 9-hour stream that day, it would have done more than the 238 views that we got on it. I'm sure, because we were shutting it down right when, I've had over 20 people in here at that time. I think that's the sweet spot, sometimes on certain days. You can't hardly predict these things, and especially what YouTube's going to do. They add, subtract, mostly subtract. And how was that one day ago? My more for your money. That didn't even make sense. Okay. All right. Okay. I see. All right. Because I've got these others set up. Yeah. I mean, day before yesterday's 130 views. Yesterday wasn't bad, 75 views. But I try and even it out. If the 4 o'clock shadow, I mean, it generally does fairly well, unless we have a really short one, like 45 minutes or something. And I think for the 45 minutes we do well. But things are coming along. You're at 2,250 watch hours, and you need 3,000, so that's really good. Last time they showed got 570 views. Yeah, it's growing, and yeah, it's Mike Walters in the house. Hey, Mike. Last time they show 570 views. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you've done very well with that from the get go. But it's just been growing and growing and growing, and I'm glad. I'm glad for that. Yeah, if I and Omer had squeezed out 2 more hours, we could have maybe doubled, I think, gotten up into the 400 range. You can't hardly predict these things, but I mean that there is a sweet spot there where not that many streamers are, Rozzy, Dive Bar, Lord Finatra is back. Went in his chat yesterday. He's back on his channel streaming, which I'm glad to see. Uh, in those early morning hours. Uh, that's I like to stream when you don't have a choice. You look and you go, okay, you can always find something on YouTube that you're interested in. Might be an old video from 10 years ago, but you can always find something you're interested in. But if you want a live stream, it can be quite, uh, slim pickings sometimes. So I try and fill that gap and not compete with the umpteen people that are trying to stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, whatever. I'm trying early morning hours when maybe you're an insomniac, maybe, but dead areas, dead zone, because there's dead zone. But I mean, even with the dead zone, stream long enough. I mean, we did and if it's the right type of stream, I really did think that the draw streams always are going to do good. People like to see that. That kind of draws people in, see what you're working on. You wait till Rex gets your back, Homer. Yeah. Oh, it'll be a doozy, as we say. We got each other. Yeah. I got a friend in Jesus. Anyway. Yeah, I think my sister's going to send me Chosen season 1 and 2 that was gifted to her. I may gift them to somebody else. I've watched 1 and 2. Wouldn't mind having them and adding them to my collection and rewatching, whatever. I know they're good. I know that season 4 is out. Season 5 hasn't dropped yet. Smoking Rice said that they had a thing. I think if you go over to the Chosen on YouTube, I might do that tonight. They were going to show just the first thing, which I saw that with my sister when she was here. We went and saw the first 5 episodes, but we didn't get to see the last 3. So the conclusion of it, where does it end off going into season 6? And I really want to see that. I hope I witness Rex's payback on you, Omer. He can be quite the rooster. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see. I could pay Omer some money with this check. I could pay Dillard. I could pay Glenn. I could pay. I could. I could pay Rob. There's so many different directions I could go with it. I could pay Keith Gleason. To letter most of the book, but I'm not really ready with scripts or anything. I hate to. I don't mind paying him now. I mean, he's trustworthy. He'll probably do it when I need it or as I get it to him. But it's like, yeah, I think I want to wait on the lettering, and then just pay him that way. He's got that self gratification while he's working, But yeah, we need to get some busy, boy. We need to get busy, making stuff happen. Because I'm gonna have to have acrylic standees made, tapestries, all kinds of stuff. So stickers, things that we've never done, pogs. I've actually got a small pog maker. Probably won't use that, but it would be an official pog thing, on the back. Yeah, or treat myself to Charlie's London book, right? I mean, how long do I hold my breath? If it shuts down, it's like, oh God, Of course, I don't have to get the big bundle, but I want the big bundle. There's some projects you just want the whole thing. Um, and she's got the new baby, but yeah, and that's not all. I mean, Pencils Down is getting ready to print and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, some of these are, and I definitely want Pencils Down because Devil Flyer is, you know, um, on the first page. I think that's cool. That's built in. Yes, I must have it. It's a Devil Flyer appearance somewhere. I must have all the Devil Flyer appearances. I won't say no to a little cheese spread in my pocket. Absolutely, Uh, and I need to get, and you're right, Omer. I do need to get busy doing that glitch cover. I may do multiple glitches. Because I mean, I don't know. I'd like to practice doing, you know, different things with glitch. I would like to do a crossover at some time. The glitch is just so, you know, a neat name for a character. Um, he needs a good rogues gallery. He does need a good rogues gallery. You know, that's and that's what I've been working on. I've got trying to think. I don't have my notes, but uh, like I said, I have been doing some writing. But part of that is I was working on a werewolf story today. Trying to figure out how that would be. Basically, a thicket, bush, whatever, at the start of the story, and you return to that bush at the end after the werewolf's been killed or driven off, whatever, and what comes out. Well, I probably shouldn't say that. It's just a neat little circle back to where the story began. You know, to be continued type moment at the end. You know, setting it up for future stories. Second Skin was one of the ones we didn't put in. Dirty Joe, I guess, would be considered a cross space, although I don't have a cross space logo. Uh, I probably should get one of those made up, you know. Maybe I'll get Glitch, Omer Glitch, to look at that too, and do me a cross space logo uh, for Dirty Joe, stories. Because that is such a neat title, for the stories. I'd be down for a crossover. I know you've said that before. Yeah. I just think glitch. See, there's a kind of a glitch in the matrix in the momentum universe, if you will. Some ancient evil was coming in, and that's why our heroes have to get busy uniting to fight offset evil. Kind of uniting, meeting for the very first time, and why maybe all the superheroes are and the supervillains as well, just superpowers in general are popping up all of a sudden, Or, of course, I am writing that they've been around for a while. Like you have Silver Boa. Um, I've not really thought about this. He's kind of a noir type character. I've not really thought about him. I think he's kind of like Batman. I think he's like not no superpowers. He's got gadgets, and he's a wrestler. His legs are very, he can squeeze you like a boa, um, grapple with you. I think when I think of him, I think of like Marvel's Copperhead character that would always get Spider-Man or whoever in all these, like, on his back with his legs wrapped around him in his hands, and these wrestling grappling moves. Um, Teasing is barter. It's all in good fun, right? You know. Um, so, and there's Midnight, of course. She's not really super powered, but again, a kind of like a Batman type character with gadgets and stuff, kind of like the Wild Wild West, but not as wild as the Wild Wild West was. Excuse me. I'm just thinking if extra money, I know you have been wanting. Yeah, it's so costly. I mean, maybe I just need to be content with just getting the book, but there's so many great covers and whatnot. I'd probably be content with one. I mean, I'm really an Octopus Cowboys another one. Pencils down. I would like to back Galaxy Memorial Park one more time. You know, I was thinking. Um, uh, there was one that I'm well, a spring ball. I would, because I got the second printing on the old version, but I'd like the deluxe version, the updated version that's actually been added to or whatever. See the difference, compare the two. Um, so I'd like to back Shat's book again. But when I do that, it's like with every backing, it's like, because this is an unusual year. Already we're in June. We're mid-June, and we've not really taken off yet. Yes, we've been working, um, and that Atlanta money's already gone. So besides a bonus, which we may or may not get, and if we do, it's only $300. Hey, Tree Goblin. Uh, so it's like, yeah, man, it needs to go to my book, my book, my book, my book. Get all this and the tapestries and the heart. I mean, the printing and to RJ for fulfillment and So I don't want to run short. That would no, do not want to run short. I think we'll be okay once we get to the Buscema book. You know. Uh, Hopefully here pretty soon. I've said this months ago, but hopefully pretty soon I could put some numbers down so that she can do some trading cards and things, and I'll start physically getting stuff in to show people. And I know that helped with the Ash King, as it reached a close. I don't think Devil Flyer has reached a pinnacle where it's no one else is going to back it. Um, I just think we need to give it a final push, and we'll have some people come on board, especially if you have a stretch goal that's enticing enough. You get 6 a.m. bog sticker and 4 more pages added to the book, making it 52 pages. I think that's always good incentive. Now, will those be ads? Could be. Now, I know there's one page that I'm thinking about with the seer, uh, the female character that John's drawn for me. And Doc Blaylock, he was the first one to draw. Well, I was the first one, but you know, Doc was after me, um, and then John, and a one-page seer story. Call it a, before the main story starts, but it deals with what's happening in future events, looting, like, well, what was that all about? Well, you'll find out what that all about. Basically, the universe has been shaken, and it's you know, and Zigzag, he's with his speed, which is kind of like our Momentum Comics mascot. He's going to be trying with his speed to knit almost. I mean, it's pretty wild, the uh, you can look at certain bits and pieces and go, thank you, God. That just falls right into place and it makes sense. And uh, Zigzag, momentum, dealing with speed. I've always thought about, streaking logo for momentum and Zigzag being a speedster. But the Flash played a big part in Crisis back in the 70s, back in the 80s, mid 80s, 85, in Infinity Crisis. And Zigzag will in my story too. I don't know how much you're going to see of Zigzag because he is a powerful character. Flash hadn't got anything on Zigzag. Quicksilver has nobody, any of the speedsters. And he's trying to keep the universe from shredding, apart. Because everything's kind of been gotten out of whack. And so I just love when it all comes together like that, because he's got, you've seen the zigzag stitching, well, I mean, zigzag, you know. Uh, so uh, it's all coming together. I've been working on bits of dialogue and stuff for Midnight and the Roustabouts because I want to get a good handle on her because she will be in this book. I mean, you've seen Jay Krieger's 2-page spread. See, I could go to Jay again and say I need this. I'm thinking for the Seer page. I thought, that's something I could do myself, but it'd be very time consuming. I mean, to do it traditionally, the way I do my stuff, and frankly, I'm working on other things. So, um, it's just anything I give John is a banger. Of course, anything I give Krieger's a banger. But I'll probably hand that Seer page off to him if I decide to do that, or add that. Do I add that as the splash page, or do I continue with, because it's been a long time. I thought, okay, you're going to open it up and there's Devil Flyer sinking. Now I'm thinking about putting in another page there, or maybe somewhere else in the book, but we're not there yet. So, I'll think it over and I'll make a prototype like I did last time. And, a scanner is probably needed. Do I take that out of the budget to, does it need to be a scanner or printer combo? Do I need to get this one fixed? Is this fixable? Is it worth it? Probably not. I mean, it's a nice one, but I've had it for, and it does a good job. It has in the past. You gonna pay for a big scanner bed. Those Buscema pages are so large, even Office Depot can't scan them completely. I have to sometimes take 2 scans, and then I'll have to marry that little bit together in Photoshop to actually have it printed the way it is on the page, because the pages are larger than 17 by 11. The preliminary drawings that he did for Savage Sword of Conan and the other stuff, Avenger pages, and there was one page I've got is a Fantastic Four 2099 page. So it's not all, but the bulk of it is that was offered up that we bought was Conan. And I've got to give some thought, because immediately as Devil Flyer's fulfilling, I'm going to want to get that campaign going, because that's going to be the money grab right there. That's going to cause, and it will be on Fund My Comic exclusively. We may go to other platforms with it. We'll see. But I like how Fund My Comic, not only do they take less, but wouldn't that be great if that was, maybe not Cecil's book, but maybe my book, my Buscema book went over $100,000 there. Probably wouldn't quit my job because I enjoy my job, but I could at that point. I could go full time. I don't know that I would do much. It would really add that much, you know. It's always, I'm not ready to retire yet and just go professional, and that's all you do is your comics, because I don't know, even in that little bit of time, because I mean the most I work generally about, I don't know, 6 hours. I mean, one of my longest nights was like 9 hours, I guess, during the pandemic. But see, that was different. I mean, I was probably working 10 hours, maybe, on some nights. That's a lot of driving. I mean, 52 miles on the west side, and I don't know how many on the east side. It's less, but it's still a lot. You know, east side will take you about 4 hours, and maybe you can shave off some of that. And then, I shaved off about an hour or so last time I did all of west, which came at about 5.5 hours. That's a lot. I mean, I'm doing every street of the city, every street. There's not one street that I don't go down. You know, and sometimes you're double spraying. And the way I shave it off is, uh, if I have to go spray in, then often I will speed out and not double spray it. Just to be quicker with it, so I'm not out there. You know, they're not having the heebie-jeebies, so it takes so long. They've said that all the time, and I'm like, will somebody sit and do the math? You're doing a top speed of 14 miles an hour. You're not, with stop signs, traffic, different things. You're not how rough. Some of these roads are rough now. Some are not even. I mean, very few are not paved, but there are a few that's on gravel. One or two, three, maybe. Um, it's it is a daunting thing. It's it's you know, I enjoy driving. It's amazing because it took, I didn't start driving really. I drove some on the farm, but I didn't start driving until I was like 18. I had no desire. As long as somebody took me where I needed to go, like take me to the pharmacy, let's go check out the comics. Mom needed to go to town or whatever. Let's drop by there. As long as I, wanted, had somebody would drive me, I was content in that, you know. But I took driver's ed, uh, and they made a requirement, of course, that you take your driver's license. I hit the driver's license, got it first time, and you know, uh, got the bare minimum that you could miss, mistakes on the test, But if I hadn't, then I would have had to cancel that and taken something else. But uh, yeah, I mean, I enjoy driving. I guess once, but there's driving, then there's driving. Most people drive nuts. What was different about this year is, since I kind of broke myself in Atlanta, usually my right leg kind of feels the strain a little bit because you're doing the accelerator and the brake. And to train yourself not to go so fast, because you're doing, on average, yeah, on average, if you try and keep it at 14 miles an hour, you're going to do a little less than that. Probably due to having to slow up, at certain times, whatever. But because it'll give you an average, and usually I hit the mark of 12 and a half, 12 and a half miles an hour. So you're doing 12 and a half miles an hour for 52 miles. You do the math. How long is it going to take you? And there's not, I'm always looking to do it. I know it's a daunting task. There's so much to do, and it's going to take me so long. So yeah, I'm always looking for, even now, for shortcuts. The last time I did Olive West, I think I did some, the way I kind of did it was a little different. And I think it worked. I think it worked really well, because I shaved off maybe about an hour. Now, one thing was, I wasn't double spraying on some. Hurry up and get back down there to spray some areas that I haven't sprayed. But so everything's getting sprayed. And you could probably do as close quartered as some of those are, depending on the drift, the wind. You have to take that into account. You could probably do every other, and it would be effective too. But I don't even try and do as much as I can. But like they give me a 3.5 hour night. The great thing is you have travel time. It'll take you over an hour to get there and over an hour to get back. About an hour, about 2.5 hours round trip. That's just driving. That's not spraying. So that's good. It's a distance away. I mean, Pocahontas was kind of like that. And I'm really more effective now with that Garmin. Put that up in the windshield and can better plot what I'm going to do. So if he's listening, and I don't think he is, thank you for the Garmin. That was quite a gift. I love it. It makes my job easier, especially when you get up into the hill country. It's nerve wracking, and traffic's not even bad. But I mean, on those dark nights, something can come out and just broadside you and smack you, very easily. And it is like a roller coaster up there sometimes. And it's kind of like a roller coaster over in Wind too on east side. You're riding the brake on the way down and you're accelerating on the way up. It's constant, it's different. It's wild. But I enjoy it. If I thought that quitting that job and going, and just being my own boss, because, made 100,000 on a campaign where I could go professional with maybe, I mean, once you get so many plates, up in the air on the sticks and you're balancing and whatnot and keeping them going. And you know what I'm saying? You're juggling. Then, yeah, I mean, you could do that. Yeah. We're going to make, Devil Flyer soap. We're going to make Devil Flyer action figures. We're going to make Devil Flyer mugs. We're going to make Devil Flyer airplanes. We're going to make Devil Flyer or whatever, bog, you name it, whatever. I mean, sky's the limit. Yeah, you can get all that stuff going and all that stuff. You got to contact who's making it, or if you're going through a third party, which I kind of am on some of this stuff. Like I'll get with Chad on that does Black Phantom on the standees. I'll get with I'm going to get with Justin Belmont on some cards and other things. Pick his brain a little bit. I'm going to get with Dark Gift, of course, on the tapestry. And I'll know here pretty soon about some numbers, because I would like to overprint, a few of these items, even some of the expensive items, like the tapestry or standee. I mean, they're not that expensive, but they're more than, say, a book. Well, I mean, the standee's not, but the tapestry is. And I'll give some thought to the next campaign too, because I've got some of this artwork I would put up on the campaign for sale. I got a nice inked Conan head. I've got a nice Bucky that's like, but do I want to save that? Do I want to save those little items? I mean, I wouldn't mind putting up some pages either, but I'm not going to give them away. But I know, I mean, they're just collecting dust around here. I wasn't that big a Conan fan either, but I tell you what, they're nice, man. I mean, I've got all the respect in the world for the artist, because the angles, just in a few lines, such a master at that point. We're talking late 80s, early 90s, more than likely early 90s. With most of the stuff that I have, that's just the time period that was, I have. But yeah, he was a master at just to make it as dramatic as you possibly can. I think what really hurt him was inkers that, like Ernie Chan, that overshadowed him. And then just I think with some of those magazines, they would put on people that were up and coming, definitely, but they weren't quite there yet. It's kind of like a tryout, and that's even a master like John Buscema, or you take your pick. Um, and he's good. I mean, he did How to Draw the Marvel Way with Stan Lee. Um, Even a master that knows the angles and knows very cinematic in the way he sets things up, um, and very dramatic. Uh, I don't see how you make the the pages look much better because he always goes for that cinematic angle. Bernie Wrightson would do like that. Like there's a panel in Swamp Thing #1 where it's under the car. You're seeing the people come up from an under the car view, and you see the underbelly of the car. That's a worm's eye view. Very cinematic. Those hard angles that you don't usually, unless you're like making repairs on the car. That's the only thing I could think. Or you're looking through the eyes of a cat. Cats get under cars, but just unusual angles like that. Put them in there that you don't see every day in a comic. And he was just a master at that. Gonna do definitely a big priority, even as we get busy, and we're gonna get busy here pretty soon. And I'll try and come home and sleep and get sufficient rest, but then also set enough time to organize and clean, because I've got to find some scripts and some artwork and stuff, especially Bog, because Bog's all over the place. I've been drawing him for 10 years, and I've got to get all that together. A lot of it, I mean, for maybe a couple years, I was doing nothing but scratch art. So I've got a lot of scratch art with Bog. I've got some possible covers, things that could be used for covers now, really. I've improved. The great thing about scratch art is you have to be confident with your line, and you can't erase. You're scratching that black surface off to get to the under surface, so it can come through. I just like the line quality. It's more of an etching quality to the line. I like that. I like that deductive, because you're taking away that surface. It's different. It's definitely different. It's almost like that glass that glass artist that I showed you the other day that did it in layers. And I do try and think in layers. It's not always easy. A lot of artists, they just two-dimensional. A lot of comic artists are that way, and it's like, yeah, man, you need to be thinking. That's the great thing about Photoshop and animation and things like that. They think in cell layers, background, midground. Cinematographers think like that, and I think that's a real bonus. To in college, three-dimensional design, you learn to look at the object, and it has to be appealing from all sides. All sides of the need to be aesthetically pleasing. Taught me presentation, and that's great when you're, you got your book made, you got your bookmarks made, you got your stickers made, and everything else, right? And if you don't package it right, and it's not aesthetically pleasing, you haven't done all your job. Uh, so yeah, I'll get some get some logo work done. I wish I almost want to collect the money, save the money, you know, maybe okay, a little bit of release here, a little bit of release here till the end of the season, till I see where, or close to the end of closer to the end of the season where I see what I'm going to get. I think on average, I know what I'm going to get, which should be sufficient. But you never know. I mean, because it's like rainfall has done more this year. I think that's starting to. I would think during the summer months it's going to be. You'll get the occasional shower, but it'll probably be pretty dry, like it usually is. Uh, maybe up to into some autumn weather. Uh, but it is like farming in that regard. You are a slave somewhat to the wind, to the rain, to the temperature, whether it's too hot or too cold. It can get too hot, and sometimes it's too hot. We just go out for looks, and we'll cut the amount of chemical in there and put more uh, mineral spirits, which is the binder, which kind of like helps it adhere to things, the leaves and the limbs and stuff like that. But inversion happens when it gets too hot, and that chemical just you can watch it whoop, right up in the atmosphere, not killing anything, unless they're just caught in it initially. Um, and it can get too cold. I don't see that happening. I mean, we're past that weather, but it has been kind of chilly. I mean, on some of these nights that we've already went out, it's really been too cold for many mosquitoes to be out, and I just don't know why they're not out in force. I think they probably are in selective areas, like I say, but yeah, we're getting ready. I'm sure they'll be thick, so that's good for the paycheck. But I may, now that we're doing weekly, they're going to be smaller than biweekly. Uh, that'd be a pretty fat check if you combine two, but they're more frequent, and I like that. I think I can plan better on a weekly basis. So I might hold on to the majority of it till another week rolls around, and then boom, I get another check, and combine the two. Uh, I've got I've I've got enough on this check that I just got in the mail today to pay for 2 pages in Devil Flyer that need to be drawn, by John Dillard, that's slated. Do I want that to go? I don't know. I definitely wanna get him some work, and I wanna, uh, keep him busy, you know? Uh, okay, you got those 2. Let's get in the groove. Okay, you got those 2 pages here. Here's another 2 pages, and here's 1 page I want you to do, and but I need to sit down again and and I do have a mock-up that I made, with folded paper. And now, like I said, I'm thinking about a new splash page, thinking about adding 4 pages. Could put a story done by me, artwork, this Geo story or something else, you know. Uh, I'm really saddened because it's a key moment. The sea demon story could not be put in there. But again, I've got to get the elephant out of the room. We can do it in the Zero issue, but I'm sorry Sea Demon story didn't get in there, which, we have that all, I and John Dillard have that all plotted out as well as a second skin story. Uh, uh, and there's logos like Crossface if I want the Crossface logo made. Um, when it comes to doing sort of you know stories with a twist, I don't know what you would call that, sort of horror stories with a twist or something, quite a kind of quirky, quiet Twilight Zone stories, kind of like that werewolf story I was working on today, where it kind of like starts at one place, you have all this happen, and then it ends where you started with something else added, that ends the story on a poignant, ironic note. And that's why I had, well, for one, the pricing wasn't that bad, but having to do so many, uh, and to develop the character and to see what he could do with the character, uh, as well. Bystander, uh, poses and things like that. Some of those are up on the campaign and have been used as thumbnails for me. I think you've seen them all. I've shared them, and the two seers, and there's another seer that he was slated to do, and then the money ran out. So I've yet to do that. I wanted the seer to be, accusing finger, and they're kind of narrative type. I'd like to do kind of a Charlton Comics like narrative horror story where you have a host to the story. He breaks that fourth wall and he's talking to you straight, the reader, that direct thing with bystander, with seer, because they're my more cosmic characters that tell you the tale, or you kind of like in what if stories, the watcher appears at the beginning of the stories, sets the story up, and you go into the story, and then at the end of the story, he kind of like puts the punctuation on it. He kind of sums everything up, ends the story. So you see him at the beginning and the end. So something like that with the seer and bystander, and that's that. I like that narrative storytelling. Uh, a way of doing stuff. Of course, all this is brand new to me. And it's not just stories that I want to tell on my bucket list, but it's also, I haven't done an acetate cover, I haven't done a lenticular cover, I haven't done, but I'm quickly, marking that. I haven't done a wraparound virgin cover. Yes, we have a Jimmy Reyes one of that. Mark that off. Okay. Haven't done a sketch cover. Now we got a sketch cover. Okay. Mark that off. And done stickers. Okay. Done stickers on this one. We didn't do one on the ash can, but we're doing it this time. A lot of stickers, even a sticker book for you to collect them in. Free domestic shipping on that, free domestic shipping on the trading card set, and free domestic. I need to get with Omer and have him make help. We need to make some more trading cards and just get at least the trading cards uh, done. Front and back. Uh, and I may do character sheets too. I really want to do character sheets. I want a Bible, a Momentum Comics Bible, what that I can hand off to Omer, hand off to all these creators, and say, you need reference. Here's the Bible. You know. It's more thrillers that have the twists and turns. Yeah. Okay. Have you got an underwater character? Yes, Sea Demon. And that's what I was saying. And they're like, seaman? No, not seaman, not jizz with the sidekick jizz. Sea Demon. Created him in 1993. And he's kind of my underwater Aquaman. And he has one thing in common with Devil Flyer. They each have a fin up here. Sea Demon had it first. And actually, when designing Devil Flyer, I kind of took that from that, not thinking that I would even use Sea Demon because everything I'd done of Sea Demon burned up my fire. But while we were going through some portfolios, I and John of his, he found the Sea Demon piece that he did in watercolor, which was a little different. Like I say, John changes my characters. Even I changed his design right here, from what John had it. And I can't remember. It's been so many years back. I can't remember at least, but he's a cool character. He would make a great action figure with pop out blades here and on his calves. I already showed you how to make them trading cards. I know. Sargasso. Yeah. 2 G's in that, brother. Sargasso. Um, yeah, I mean, that's probably not all we do. I mean, we just need, look, man, as I'm getting ready to, and I'll pay you for your time. I have a figure in mind, plus that glitch cover. Um, and if you need more money, we'll find you more money somewhere. Uh, but yeah, I mean, the crowdfunding thing, it's like, man, I gotta, again, it all has to go to get this stuff out, and get it made. hopefully after the next campaign after this, I won't have to worry about it. You know, not like that won't be as tight. I think I'll make sufficient money. I know I have a figure in mind. I think I'm going to blow that out because I'm already made over $2,500 this season, and that's including a big portion of that and the majority of that was the Atlanta thing. But I have not received the $300 bonus yet. Hopefully we will. Hopefully I will. I know it takes a little time on those bonus things, but yeah, I'm going to be. Have you shown John C. Demon art before? Yes. Um, Apex, Drew C. Demon. Um, he kind of gave him a spike, which yeah, he could do that. Ryan James did the cover to C. Demon issue 6, front and back cover. I've had used them as thumbnails, where he's all beat up and boxing, you know. I guess I could share screen. Stop screen there and I'll show you. Do I have the whole thing? I mean, whoops, if I click on it, no. Okay, can't do that. Trying to think where I have some CDM reference. But yeah, just look at my icons, It's you've seen him, C Demon. And a big pivotal point, and he does become a very close friend to Devil Flyer, you know. Uh, a big moment is Devil Flyer trying to save his life, and that's kind of what it's depicting. Is he's been beat half to death, his eye swollen, and he's bleeding, and he's kind of a fish out of water at the climax of things. But every action has a reaction, has a uh, he. I mean, C Demon is the next most important character in the Devil Flyer saga. Devil Flyer first and C Demon. That's how my Aquaman, my underwater character, Carrie, and everybody watching, it is. He's probably in the Devil Flyer saga, he's probably the second most important character in the story. And I just could not fit his story in. I had to get this 29-page first story, which was supposed to initially be a standalone story, and then I started adding backup stories. And then I thought, hey, I've got a chance to really kick this off in sort of like a connecting hero anthology thing that's never been done, really, not the way I'm doing it. But 29-page story is a book all in itself. So it ate up too much real estate. And so I just basically on this book, this prequel book, cobbled everything together with the stories that were essential to have in there. Devil Flyer, Innerman. I did add Bystander. That was the last thing. And that's kind of what we're working on now. But then the Bystander story will include a bunch. I mean, that story more than ever will show the whole panorama or good section. And you talk about first appearances, cameo appearances, you're going to get them in this book. I can't even tell you how, as many characters as I can possibly get in there. And once you read Devil Flyer and the whole thing and get to that Bystander section, which will be kind of toward the end, mid section, the end, about 11 pages, I think. We'll see. Some of the page, like the Innerman, just basically, which is connected to the Devil Flyer story with the dialogue. And, because, I mean, Devil Flyer is going to meet Innerman. He's going to meet Bog. He's going to meet, all these characters, and he's going to gather them all up to fight this this evil that's trying to come into and he's not a free agent because he's kind of made a pact with the devil, if you will. So it's a redemption thing. Have you shown? Let's see. Hugh Armour is impersonating Tom Cruise. Me, the money. Yeah, where is Ryan James? These days, haven't seen it. He's working down at Hollywood as a lighter. I'm sure they're back to work. They were on strike when he was working on Octagon. He's working on Octagon 2, issue 2. I don't know if he's going to do release 1 in black and white version like he was talking about, or if he's going to go straight into 2, or maybe combine the 2 into one campaign. I really don't know. Devil Flyer and the Sea Demon sounds like you and LZ and your friendship. Yeah, yes, maybe. So yeah, definitely, I can't wait to, see what the next book will do, the Buscema thing to, I'll know more then, but I have plans on after that to do 2 books, which will be Momentum Unleashed, Future Visions, where all the stories are told in the future. It may be the character's future, like there'll be a midnight story. There'll be a I promised you to introduce you to something new every book, because first appearances of characters or things like the Baxter Building, the Spidey Mobile, or whatever. I don't know that increased that much price, but a new costume design or something. It bolsters the collectability, and I'm as much a collector as I am and cognizant of what really makes a comic book desirable to collectors in the future. And I do want my books to be desirable in the future. Right now we're dealing with limited numbers, so that's in my favor right there. Like I say, in the Ashcan, you got about 16, 17 characters already. Devil Flyer and Hopper has already been on this cover from this comic company here that's been in business over 20 years and didn't even know them. Starcross, which I think has become Grok, or maybe Starcross is doing, and Grok is too. I'm not sure what happened, but you want a different take on Devil Flyer. There you go. I don't know why he didn't go with the original. Maybe he thought this was better. I'm glad he did. It looks awesome. And he made Hopper look great. I think when you look at some of these, this is the Blue Scarab, which is, they have to call him that because DC owns Blue Beetle, but really that's the Golden Age Blue Beetle. This is Man of War, which is also this is an Avenger homage cover. He's also public domain, and there's Catman and Kitten. Those are from the Golden Age. But yeah, I think that when you look, you got men and women, okay? In Devil Flyer, you got this winged, interesting character with a trident, or a pitchfork. With Hopper, he looks totally alien. All these other guys, except for this one that's, I forget, that's kind of armored up, kind of like they're Batman. Other than that, these all look, here's one with a bug theme. But the 2 most interesting characters on here, I feel like, are Devil Flyer and Hopper. Hopper's actually doing something, and it was genius. If you look, he's actually got Devil Flyer doing something. He put a little canary, which I went through this to see if that was in the book, if this character had a canary or canary. No, he just put that there so as a little thing where the bird like Devil Flyer would be looking at him. Of course, he's got a helmet on, but see that little green canary that's on, or parrot, or whatever it is, canary, I would think. But I feel like when you look at all these characters, the 2 most interesting characters are mine. Okay, that guy with flaming hair is pretty cool. The Batman sort of armored up guy. There we go. Maybe focus now. Public domain characters and stuff. But I feel like, you know, the ones that really grab you as far as their design are my characters. And I'd say that with all, not that these are bad looking characters with bad power, you know, but yeah, design good characters. Uh, yeah, I mean, so, you know, it'll all knit together well. I'm giving myself, you know, after I went with the prequel, uh, idea, then it's, you know, a zero issue. Most zero issues are an afterthought after the book's been running a while. How about start it off with a zero? You know, a prequel, get the big devil flyer and get the very basics out of the way. The story that I had most developed. Not the bystander. He was the last big character to be added, and that's what we're kind of working on now. Which are showcasing like midnight at midnight, drawn into here will be kind of considered part of the uh, bystander story. Uh, we'll have a 2-page spread on Devil Flyer, which will show you him in Chicago over an L train battling, you know, flying towards each other, like it's depicted on the art book, the 60-page art book that we've added. Um, uh, Battling over the skies of Chicago, which is coming in the next issue. And that's not all that. The next issue, you will get Devil Flyer battling a Smolder, which you kind of ends the thing, a character called Smolder. And then after he deals with Smolder, he's going to be, maybe I'm saying too much, but he's going to encounter the uh, yeah, Sea Demon, or not Sea Demon, but uh, he's going to encounter the armor uh, Devil Flyer. Later on, I got to go to the studio. Okay, see, that's why I don't do the studio, because it's right after mine. It's like, you know, I'm tired by that point. I'm not at my peak. I don't want to go in there and draw, and everybody's drawing like theme things. Let's draw the Hulk. Let's draw, you know, and usually it's indie things now. You know, let's draw Joe Sontag's Reaper Destroyer. Let's draw uh, uh, Weaponized Werewolf, Justin Scared, you know. And it's like, no, I want to draw my own characters. I've got too much to do, you know. That next drawing may be, ooh, the definitive thing about a character that I'm drawing, you know. Yeah, I'm marking on me, you know. At some point, maybe I'll, just for the hell of it, I'll do a Spider-Man or something, but you know, that doesn't really advance my agenda. And I feel like, you know, in 5 years I look back on this and go, man, I'm glad. I mean, we've already come a long way, you know. We've gotten logos made. We've, you know, put out a book, you know, that everybody was pleased with, and uh, I think everybody's going to be pleased, very, very pleased with this, you know. And I'm just pleased as punch that, you know, everybody's going to be, who really has come on board. The majority already with the Ashcan has returned. I haven't checked those two lists, but I feel like most people that back the Ashcan are backing the Devil Flyer. There was general enthusiasm for the sign up. There was general good launch. And I feel like maybe hit it right at the tail end, you know, before things really got bad. And I think book sales are a little soft now, unfortunately. But que sera, sera. Whatever will be. That's just the onus is on the creators to give you more excitement, more, you know. And I'm out to beat everybody else out there. I really am. You know, I'm creating comics that I would like to read, and I have quite the imagination. You know, I want to read the most exciting comic that I've ever had in my hands, and I want the next issue to be just that much or better. and just build and build and build, and with sub stories and stuff. And yeah, I feel like that mythicals. Yeah, I can have mythicals type stuff in there. I'm already doing like werewolf type stuff, and I've got a vampire sub story that's going to be play a big part in there. Um, and uh, it we'll have the vampire thing will just totally blow your mind by the end of it, probably, hopefully. And it'll have a lasting mark on some characters. Um, which is kind of like almost like a fembat type thing. We've talked about crossing over and maybe even intricately putting fembat in part of that. Do I have to it's I'm not looking at multiverse, but with the way I've set it up, my whole universe is kind of like and there's been others do this, with where the universe is just like in fragments. I don't think it's been a wide thing. I think it's more like a crisis event, the whole thing. I'm throwing you into like a DC crisis event with a lot of characters. It can be done. And really, I haven't thought a lot about the crisis event, but I sure loved it, all 12 issues when it came out. I wish it would have solved things or resolved some things at DC permanently, but it didn't, you know. Popular IPs may bring new eyes to your channel and a whole new audience, something to think about. That is the only reason I do it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. You're talking about IPs that aren't my own. Right. And, I may do some public domain characters. I've already done the heap, only once on a sketch card. See you, Omer. But, um, uh, yeah, I get talking about this. I could talk about this for hours because there's so much. There's so much that's going to be going on, but it's going to be simple. It's going to be simple tale, but it's going to have some gravitas to it. It's going to be epic. Um, and I'm hoping that people will be satisfied with the first issue and they'll come back for the 0 issue and the future visions. Those are going to be 2 separate books. Future visions. I just, I'm telling stories with different timelines, some things that are, I mean, in that you're going to get to see the future. I mean, they're all tales told in the future. What can you do with that? And sometimes in the character's future. So like I said, we've got Silver Boa in 1959, not our future, but the character's future. We've got a Midnight story that I have in mind. That's going to be not our future, but her story, set back in the 1800s. That'll give you your first look at Midnight and Old Lady Midnight. Um, I'm thinking out of the box because you can start the story any place you want. I mean, one of those stories set in 250 years in the future. And I can't wait to get to that because that's basically a battle royale with a couple twists at the end. So a lot of action and the next Devil Flyer. I'm going to be honest, in this first one, you didn't get a knockdown, drag out battle, but you will in the next one. You'll get a couple, one between Smolder and Devil Flyer immediately. That's where it picks up, and then later on in the story. And I'll start adding those Lois Lanes, those Jimmy Olsen characters, those secondaries, and humanizing Devil Flyer. This blind black girl he's going to meet, which is going to lead to my detective type character. That's a cousin in the UK. And they'll go sleuthing and I'll start connecting, and humanizing Devil Flyer. And you'll get to know a little bit more about him and whatnot. But now you're not going to really get to know his origin and his full backstory till issue 7. Because and some of the climax kind of spills over in the reason for issue 7, and then the telling of his origin from issue 6, which is the kind of the climax of the story. I'm making sure I'm getting a good foundation, I feel like, by doing a prequel. And a lot of people are like, do issue 1. Well, I want to do like a countdown, and I'm not ready for an issue 1, or I would do it. I would like, in the 0 issue, we'll get out the other stories that I couldn't get out in one book. So then once we hit a Devil Flyer official number 1 issue, I think you'll either be on board or you won't be by that point. And you'll see that it's leveling up on the talent that's doing the artwork and all types of stuff, the storytelling and stuff. I think you'll either like my storytelling or you won't. You will like my art or you won't, and I will try and contribute more art to mine. There'll be a lot of my art in the art book. 10 years of Bog history. That'll all be me, there may be, like, Peter's done a Bog recently. Dale did a Bog recently, that I've used again, in a different, frame for one of the shows coming up. There has been some fan art and some other artists do some of my characters. So, some of that stuff may appear, like, even the Devil Flyer and the Devil Flyer stuff, like Rob Ewing's done a couple Devil Flyers, and, a lot of the other characters. Rob's done a lot of them, and I'm going to get him busy. In fact, I probably just need to pay him up and get him going, because he's, for he's snatched up in something and he's too busy. He's one like John Dillard that's very quick, and Elmer Glitch is quick. Um, I'll probably, I mean, there's a lot. I want some more stickers of my characters designed. I want to show off as many of my characters, viable characters, as I can, as quickly as possible, to secure their copyright and IP, if nothing else. I need to think up some names, and maybe I'll go to the chat for that. We'll have a name contest or something for some of these characters. We'll do something fun. I want it. If it can't be fun, I don't want to do it. That's my personality. I'm very sanguine like that. I think that's the term. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You can go over to Omer Glitches or somewhere else. Enjoy your weekend. I will be working behind the scenes, writing, as I have been doing today, researching, and, just enjoying my weekend as well, and doing more art. Um, we love you too, Omer. Hope you enjoyed today. It's a little bit short for Shadowhawk, but I know I've had diarrhea of the mouth for well over an hour now. But yeah, I could talk about this stuff, but I'd rather show you. And here pretty soon it'll be busy time, and that was one reason I went with RJ. Because they're, and especially now that I've added to the big bundle and stuff, there's a lot that I had to produce just for one person. Hopefully we'll sell some more big bundles. We need a good big bundle sold would get us almost to our next stretch goal, which will give you 4 more pages to the book, and the 6 a.m. Bog sticker. And then after that, I believe it's the Hopper and Lady Hopper. And I know I want to produce that stuff, but if we don't do it this campaign, we'll do it next for sure. The artwork's already there. Why not? Want to do patches. Probably won't do patches this, but with Devil Flyer 0, we'll probably do patches. Definitely. There's a certain bucket list, that I want to. Never done this, so I want to mark that off. Okay, I've done a virgin cover. I've done a sketch cover. Okay, I'll probably have a sketch cover on every. Those are fun. And with the surplus of some of the extras that I have, I can draw on those or remark them and sign them, whatever. But I mean, do artwork on them and put them up on the next campaign as original, one of a kind. I think that's something somebody will like down the line, maybe, hopefully. Um, it's a no brainer to do a sketch cover. I think a lot of people like that. So, anyway, probably going to stay with the same formula of like maybe 3 covers. Maybe not. Maybe cut it down to 2 plus sketch cover. We'll see. I kind of like the idea of like best things come in 3s, really 4 if you count the sketch cover. This one, I mean, we're swinging for the fences. You got hardback we're doing, unseen. I mean, the kind of behind the scenes Devil Flyer stuff. I know this is long goodbye, but you know, there's gonna. I mean, when people start showing what they're getting, Rex after midnight bedtime. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's only 6 p.m. here. 6:16. But yeah, I get it. The long goodbye. But yeah, I'm excited about things that are coming up, and hopefully the next book that I'm doing with Glenn and Elsie will loosen the reins and make new possibilities. Hopefully come true. But I have to have something. Finances has to be there if I want to do the 2 books, and we'll look at printing cost. I'll know more about the printing and what we can do there, and maybe even lowering the cost since I'm kind of splitting it up. But crowdfunders, I think, should be probably a minimum of 48 pages. Cinema book will rock. Absolutely. Silence is golden. Don't think I don't pick up on that. I want to talk about it too much. Anyway, keep collecting, and we will go to bed, like Glenn said. No, we won't go to bed, but we'll relax and enjoy.